Hello everyone and welcome to round number 3 in the Daily Hyundai Winter Chase Race League. We are live on the TUZ YouTube channel and WinMac PC's Facebook page. Also, everyone that's watching, could they go to the YouTube channel and subscribe to the TUZ channel and also hit the bell icon. It means when we go live you'll get a notification. With a lot of people sent messages looking to know when we go live, so if you do that there you'll never miss it. Tonight's course is on Volcano circuit and is 6 laps, 30 k's in distance. Same format as last week. I will follow the D and C riders and Ross is going to follow the A and B riders. Last time I checked there were 16 riders on the naughty list. Not sure what there is now, but Ross will be along later on and he's going to tell us about that. Last week's winners, Paul Meadowcroft, Kalinchi, Ivan Cook, Team Madigan and Marty Lynch, Band Wheelers was the podium. So I have Fiona Kelly and Ross Blaney both here. Are you there?
We're here.
Yes, here.
Ross,
bright and early.
Good stuff. So I'm going to flick over to the pen at the minute. And Ross is going to have a wee chat about the overall league standings as well. So if you want to go ahead and do that, Ross, let me know.
Yep, far away. Get the bottom screen there.
Starting with the women, yes.
Yes.
Of
Ladies
course,
first.
You have to.
The ladies are up.
Are they up?
Yes, go ahead.
I think they're just up for you.
They are just up for me. Unfortunately, I can't share that screen. Sorry.
All right, okay.
We can.
You need to read it?
What we have here.
I do need to read it because I haven't got it written down.
I wasn't prepared for this moment. I'm just used to you giving me all the information on the screen.
Technical difficulties here.
We're doing well tonight.
Exactly. Fairly standard of us to be having some form of technical issues.
Yes, I'm not sure how I'm going to work this, guys.
All right, forget about it anyway. Well, the league's going well. We're up to round 3 now.
Thanks for counting that, Ross.
It's starting to take shape. I'm just going to put what he called up here while we're doing this.
If you get those screenshots up, Ross.
Yeah, I can call it out for you. So actually, we don't have any female riders that have come in the results for A group so far. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but we do have 2 ladies in the B category. And actually, second place in the B category, Meta Johnson, has been upgraded to the A's this week. So I believe she's racing A category. So we will have a female A. First place in the B's is Claire Richardson, and she's been riding particularly well. And actually, in terms of points, she's well ahead of any other woman in the B category as well. So, Ross, what do you think of our B women?
Super strong. I've raced against Claire a number of times before, and she's a real strong rider, against the majority of the main riders as well. So it's great to see her up there.
Do you want me to pan over to D riders?
Well, yeah. So actually, we have quite a few. Will we go with female C's next as well?
Go ahead.
So female C's, we have Zoe Lindsay. So she's one of our juniors and she is leading the C category for the women at the moment. So she's on 120 points. One, I think it's amazing to see a junior rider doing so well. She's been incredibly consistent. So she's raced 2 of the races so far. She's followed closely by June McMinn, our very own from North Down. And June obviously is another very strong rider. So she is on 102 points at the moment. I think the key to June is she always goes well. She's super consistent. She's going to race strong every week as well. So I'd expect to see these 2 finishing close to the top for the rest of the league as well.
Great. That just leaves D riders.
Yeah, ladies.
Our D riders, we have 3 ladies in the D category at the moment. So in third place is Nikki Alexander, although I believe she may not be racing this week due to injury. And then in first place at the moment is Kim Campbell for Peninsula Triathlon Club as well. So hopefully they have a good race tonight and continue to go well.
Great. Would you like me to go to D-Cat?
D-Cat males would be nice. I have them up on the screen myself now.
Go ahead.
Waiting for the delay on the screen, obviously.
Clear your throat for a while and nobody will notice the delay.
Here we go. Okay, so leading the D category in the males is Marty Lynch from Band Wheelers. So he's ridden the first 2 rounds. And also joint points on at first place is Ivan Cook from Team Madigan. Both of them are 165 points, so it was a real battle starting to heat up there in the D category. And then in third place, we got Shane Morrison from Breffney, is it pronounced?
I
Wheelers?
was called a Breffin Wheelers,
Breffin,
but
I think, yeah.
never know
Wheelers.
my pronunciation.
So he's only 140 points, so it's very, very close between the top three. And there's loads to play for. Like I say, you're allowed to miss 2 rounds out of the 8, so you are. So it's anybody starting fresh from tonight still has a really good chance of winning that jersey for the overall title.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, there's still plenty more races to go, so definitely not too late to get involved at this stage as well.
Okay, ready for C? Yep, transition now.
Well,
go ahead, Fiona.
I think we all know who's coming number 1 in the C category here, so Ross, I'll let you introduce him.
Leading the C category, he's out in front. He's won the last 2 rounds. Is Gregory Gout, our big French ringer from North Down CC. Super strong rider, real fast sprinter as well. Second at the minute is Gary Scott, representing the Legged Chicken Curry team, as I call them, Rick Hanna's team. He's 175 point to Gregory's 200. And third place is 13-year-old superstar in the making, Adam Ward from Ban Wheelers. So it's a bit of a flat course tonight, so I don't think it's going to suit Adam too well, but it'll definitely suit the Gregory and Gary Scott leading the C category.
Great. Ready for B's?
All right.
B's are up. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Fiona.
Oh, I was there replying to a chat message. Guys, you need to give me advance warning when this happens. I'm not okay, so if we go with the B's, it's all right. I recovered there pretty well. So Eamon Rafferty is coming up in first place in the B category with 200 points. He's actually won 2 out of 2 of the races here as well, so that is pretty impressive. Ross, do you know if he's down to race tonight?
I haven't seen his name in the list, but he might be leaving at the last minute. He rides for VC Glendale. And if you're listening, Eamon, you need to reply to my email, or you're going to get a bit in the you know where.
Oh no, do we want to know what's going on there?
No, we'll not divulge any information on the live stream.
we have about 1 minute, 1 minute 15 to start. So if we go with the A's last here, and then we'll fire over to the stream. Go ahead.
So A category, we have Gary Walker coming first with 180 points. It's quite tight between the first 3, really. So Peter McLean is on 175 points in second place, and then Seth Dunwoody in third place on 170 points. And actually, Lindsay Watson is tied for third place as well on 170 points as well. So very tight standings within the A category. So definitely all to play for here.
Great.
Yeah. The A category is really super competitive. So it is. Young Seth Dunwoody won last week's race, and he's only 14 years old. So another superstar in the making.
Brilliant.
Unreal. That's so impressive.
Okay, 20 seconds roughly.
Okay.
Can you guys see? Can you see my screen? Okay, yeah.
We can see you. All good.
Great.
Give you a little bit more information on the course tonight, guys. We have a bit of a lead-in before we actually reach the circuit. It's about 2.5-3 kilometers, I think, from memory. And then once we reach the circuit, it's going to be 6 laps of a 1.4 kilometer course. So what we're worried about tonight, I'm not too sure if it'll happen, but the D's have a 10-minute head start on the A group. So what I'm thinking is the D group could be a full lap ahead of the A group before they even reach the circuit. So that should be interesting to see.
With technical difficulties here, trying to sort it out.
Ross, your echoey is our technical difficulty.
Oh, apologies for that. The circuit tonight, it's a rolling circuit with one short kicker climb around 700 meters from the finish line. So this is a real tight one. If in a race scenario, if a group comes together within the last kilometer, do you wait for the hill to finish before going for the sprint, or do you go for the long one and launch it from 700 meters out and try and get a gap on the hill and hold on to the finish line?
Yeah, we're not having much luck here as the D riders are taking off. I am on my map and can't find any D group to follow here. This is
Well, we'll give you a few minutes and we'll distract by talking about who's in the D category tonight. So, Ross, I think you had mentioned there are a couple of interesting characters who had joined the D group tonight.
Yeah, there's a couple of noteworthy characters in the D group tonight. One that stands out for me, a guy I've raced with many years ago as well, Willie Hamilton. I think he's from Banbridge direction. He's a former Irish national criterion champion. So you may be thinking that, my goodness, what's he doing in the D category? But he's been off the bike for years, and he's concentrating more on I see his daughter's racing a lot as well on the road. So it's great to see him taking the daughter here, there, and everywhere. But it's good to see him racing tonight. Anybody else, Fiona, you can think of?
Well, one, I probably give the same shout out every single weekend because he's an absolute gent, and that's Ryan Fagan from North Down. He was actually commenting on our live stream last week saying thanks for the shout out, and I said I always have to give him a shout out. Ryan, when I first moved up north and couldn't find my way around the peninsula, actually cycled me back to Donaghadee from Harrison's, which, I mean, to everybody, you'll know that like it's the simplest route, but I still managed to get lost. So shout out to Ryan, he's a good guy, so keep on going, Ryan, you're racing well.
Another friend of mine in the D group starting tonight, Michael Hamilton from Bangor. He rides for the Bike House team. He's an former racer from 20 odd years ago, but he's a former Northern Ireland road race champion, and he's also won a stage in Tour of Ulster. So if anybody knows cycling, that's not an easy race by any means. So to get a stage win in that's some going. But a bit like myself, he's piled on the keg since then, so he's down to the D group. And he's just started Zwift, so he's only finding his feet. So good luck tonight, Michael.
I'm sure we'll see him upgraded soon. We also have Kim Campbell, who I think was, am I right in saying, our first place lady in the D category. So she's racing tonight as well. So hopefully all goes well for her and she gets some additional points.
A big mention to our main title sponsor, Daly's Hyundai. Daniel Daly's son, Junior Daly, is riding tonight. Only 12 years old in the D group tonight. So I'm not too sure if it's his first race ever on Zwift, but hope you hang in and have a good race tonight, young Daniel Daly Junior.
That is a mouthful, but yes, good luck to you.
I can't. If you guys have on your companion app, I can't see any D riders to tag onto here, so we're just going to have to wait to the start of the C group. They're handicapped 6 minutes, so we're looking like another
5 minutes tonight.
3 odd minutes before we're getting any action here.
Yeah, 5 minutes tonight for the D
Is
riders.
it 5?
Start. It is indeed. They got a minute chopped off them from last week.
Oh boy.
Because they haven't been caught the last 2 weeks in a row. They've hung out there by just over a minute.
Right, so we've only about a minute to go then. I'm on a C rider and all, so
Perfect. This is the joys of live stream and stuff like this will always happen.
I'm not sure what happened to the D's.
And another big shout out, if anybody's a rugby fan, we have in the D group tonight, you'll know this name, Gary Leslie. He's a former Ulster rugby prop. He was playing with Ulster Rugby when the last won the European Cup. One we stat from tonight, he's the heaviest rider in the race tonight, 122 kilos. He'd probably not be happy with me saying that, but
he's probably solid as a rock anyway.
Yeah, very much so.
Crap, was he?
I don't know the rugby positions myself, but that's what I've been told anyway.
I mean, I'm definitely going to go with a prop at that weight. That or who knows. No judgment if you're not either. Backing down now in case I've dug a hole.
Another wee shout out, Alex Mitchell riding tonight. I've been told he's the first rider to be caught every week by the C group, but he keeps coming back every week, so fair play. Alex, keep firing away at it.
Action at last. The C's are off.
So we have a shout out coming through on our YouTube channel for Molly, who's 13 and is riding her longest race on Zwift tonight. So I'm taking that Daniel is her dad. So Daniel, let us know what category she's riding in and we'll be sure to keep an eye out for her.
And always I see Rory Loughran here on Facebook Live. Good luck to the Nukes, the Newry Nukes. So I'm guessing, Rory, you haven't got a new laptop yet?
I remember saying his messages to you. It was quite funny.
Yeah. I think that's one of our friends there, Jay McMinn.
Yeah, June McMinn. June has been, as I said, going really, really well. She's been having quite a busy week. But you know what? In terms of training, I think June is always incredibly consistent. And also, just before you clicked over to June, you were on Des Crilly, who had been one of our top D riders last week. So he's been upgraded. So always nice to see somebody getting upgraded and booted up a category as well. Congratulations, and also sorry for you.
I have a big shout out for one of his teammates. I'm not going to mention his name, but you probably know who it is once I say this here about him. But Anthony Lavery from Ban Wheelers. I've been told to say a big shout out to him because he's riding his heart out tonight in the C category. But I've been told he's got 9 kids and he's actually willing to sell one of them for a trade-in for a new Specialized SL7 bike.
That is brilliant. Oh my God.
So Ross, go through these handicaps. We've changed them again.
The handicaps tonight basically are the D group got a 5-minute start on the C group. From C to B, it's only 3 minutes. And then from B to A, there's only 2 minutes. So last week, the race came together, bar 4 D riders who stayed out. The lead D rider was just about a minute in front of the first A rider. And the third place D rider was only 1 second. So he hung on by the skin of his teeth.
Yep.
So it should come together tonight.
Just flick up to the front here and see who we have on the front. G Gout.
North
down. I'm guessing.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
him.
And Rick Hanna I see as well. They're close to the front. So lots of North Down being represented.
Another shout out to the C riders, Stephen Carty from North Down as well. We nicknamed Stephen the Bull. If you've ever been out on the bike with Stephen, you've never met a man who tries so hard. He wrestles the bike like he's pulling the handlebars off the thing, but he goes really well for an eye-boy.
For an old fella. There's Zoe Lindsay.
I've seen another renaming the C category tonight. That's the B's just away as well now, so it is. Dara Mortimer from Dublin. Myself and Dara are around about the same age, and we started racing together back in under 14 days. Dara was an underage, under 16 national mountain bike champion, and he was a hard man to try and beat. So good to see him racing tonight. Big shout out to you, Dara.
The under 14 days, Ross. How long goes that now?
God, I've lost count.
Many moons. But actually, I think probably one of the biggest shout outs that we actually do need to give tonight is to Mark's wife, Jodie. Jodie, I think you're an absolute hero for letting Mark help us out tonight. Jodie hasn't been well, and Mark still somehow has managed to get out of the house to go play on Zwift for like 2 hours while Jodie has to mind the children. So, I mean, I don't know whether it was more of a relief for the kids to kick Mark out. But thank you so much for lending him to us, because without him, we wouldn't be able to do this.
Yes, I did get a green light. I had to ask, and we got the green for go, so thank you.
Oh, actually, Jodie, in case you're listening to this, Mark has promised that he's going to cook dinner for the next month every night. He told us that earlier, so you heard it here.
Except for a Wednesday. I can't cook on a Wednesday, a live stream.
He said he did takeaway on Wednesday, though. He thought of everything.
So just watching the C riders here now at the minute, they're approached the only sort of rest part on the course, this little downhill they're going down. This is basically the only part of the course you can sort of get a wee breather on. But you're talking 5 to 6 seconds. But as everybody knows, it races Swift. You need every second you can to get your breath back.
Yeah.
At the end of this straight, we're going to hang a left, and this is the only sort of hill on the circuit. It's only about 100 meters, 150 meters long at the very most, but it is quite steep. I think it, from memory, goes up to about 7 or 8%. So after a few laps, it does start biting the legs, and you'll see riders getting spat out the back, left, right, and centre.
I'm just checking on Swift Power here to see who's who, so it isn't really updating that well yet. But the gap between the D's and the C's is 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
So they've took 30 seconds.
Took 30
back
seconds
already.
out, yeah.
And just watching the B riders here as well at the moment. They've just hit the circuit as well, so we shouldn't be too far from the A riders off as well at the moment.
Yeah, do you want to pan across to the B's, Ross?
Can do, yeah.
I'll go switch my names over to the B category, so I'm ready.
That's us on Bs.
Okay, we're following at the moment Eamon Rafferty from VC Glendale. That's last week's winner of the B category. Sitting on a comfortable 370 watts here, so he's going strong.
Yeah.
And we also have Matt Ormisher as well, racing in the B category. So he was upgraded. This is the second week in the Bs. So I think last week he said it was hell. So hopefully it's not as painful this week.
A few shout outs in the B category as well. A couple of guys that have been upgraded over the last week or so. Paul Caldwell from OMA, Caldwell Cycles as well. Upgraded from C to B category recently. Gareth Kirkwood from Crossgar CC, also upgraded to B. Peter Ritchie, Dramara CC. Ricky McKellen from Belfast. An old racing friend of mine, Kirk Sloan, is riding in the B category tonight as well. Kirk's another former national junior champion from back in the mid-90s. Super talent, really strong, represented Ireland on numerous occasions. Raced up into the senior level, very good standard up the A category. Well, first cap basically on the road, and then jacked it in to become a mediocre runner. You're not mind me saying that. But now he's back on the bike, only a matter of months, and he's up to the B category on Zwift already. So it'll be interesting to see if Kirk ventures out on the road again to dip his toes into the racing scene.
Yep. So with a few shout outs here, Rory Loughran says he's getting his laptop tomorrow. About time. And there's a message from Jody saying, thank you. I wouldn't let him down. There you go, Fiona.
Jody, you're the best.
And she also says she's looking forward to her dinner.
I'm looking forward to see if Mark can actually cook. So if he's misbehaving, you just let us know. Don't worry.
Somebody's asked in the stream, am I racing tonight? Well, no, I'm not, so I'm commentating, so that's out the window. And I haven't retired, as other people have been saying.
Yeah, I think I put a shout out for retirement last week.
I just wasn't feeling well, so now I'm feeling good again.
Possible race next week then?
Oh, I don't know. We'll see. Have to check out the course. See if it's flat.
I think you should be able to multitask and do both commentating and racing at the same time. Like happened last week, Lindsay Watson was able to type and race, so he's an ace. I don't really know what your excuse is.
I reckon if you tuned into me racing, it would sound like a really bad 70s porno or something like that.
Too far. We're on live stream here. Think of the children.
So the B group at the minute have just basically are reaching the top of this little climb, entering the volcano. The circuit dips in and out of the volcano constantly.
Yeah, 6 laps, isn't it? Correct? Yeah, 6 laps.
It is, yeah. When you're racing, obviously it's depending where you are. If you're inside the house, it's going to feel very warm. So you're riding through this volcano section, it's going to make you feel extra warm, so it is.
I also stand corrected on the ladies in the B category tonight. So I'd said that Meta had been upgraded to A's, but actually I see her name appearing in the B's again tonight. So Meta and Claire are both racing B's. So there'll be a fight for points there as well.
We're down to 4 minutes between C's and D's. And
it's getting closer, right?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the B's. So the lead B rider is 7 minutes and 7 seconds off the end of the C's. So they're making up decent time as well. Do you want to stick with the B's for a while, Ross? Yeah?
Yeah. Stick with the B's here for a little bit wrong, and then we'll jump back to the A's.
Yeah. And Paul Kirky is racing with B category as well tonight. And I had to give him a shout out because I don't know if anybody follows him on Zwift, but he has the most fabulous profile picture of himself with a pink wig on his North Down jersey as well. So what a great profile picture. Marks for that.
Got Richard Hanna, just following Richard from Art Cycling Club at the moment here. You can see that the B group has really stretched out. So they're down near the middle of the B bunch. There's still quite a few riders behind.
I've just a few shout outs on YouTube here. Daz the cyclist, so that's Darren Tapp. Watching tonight is a lot easier than riding. Yeah, that's definitely true. Pete McLean, there's one for you, Fiona. Pete, can I join the B's? Tired legs.
Sandbagger, no.
Yeah. Shout out to the Connect lads from Simon. There's plenty of shout outs here.
Just dropping back the B group here to see how far back they are stretched out.
check the times.
I can't be too far away from the A group. They were obviously on the circuit as well. We need to jump back and see them at some stage.
We can when it comes to A group, just get live updates from Lindsay Watson, so he can message us in at any stage to let us know how it's going. Lindsay, we're waiting for your commentary.
Are you there?
We're following Paul Ferguson here at the minute. He looks he's hanging on by the skin of his teeth, and this is the back end of the B group. So Paul, if you're listening, put a wee kick in and get back into that draft there. It looks like the B group have entered the circuit, and the D group already have a lap on them. So it'll be quite hard to follow the progress of all the groups tonight because it is such a short circuit. So once they do start splitting up, there'll be riders all over the place. It'll be quite hard to follow.
That's true. And the other tricky thing that I always find is when you are lapping people or just even going past big groups is when you're riding into it. I think like the trick that I've been told is that you accelerate before you get to the group to try to get through without getting drag from the other group as well. So I don't know if that's a useful tip for anyone racing tonight. Also, knowing my advice, I probably could have made that up, that somebody told me it was a good idea and it could be totally not true. So Ross, can you validate that?
It is very true. Sometimes if you do catch a group and you're doing a similar pace to them, but obviously a little bit quicker, when you do come into the middle of the group, you can get stuck behind riders. So it is advisable when you do catch the group to try and surge past a little bit. And then once you're past, you can ease off and continue at the same pace. It's called sticky draft. It happens quite a few times in the likes of these races, the chase races. So the B group basically at the minute are just on this little downhill. So you can see the watts have dropped right down, a little bit of recovery. And when you hit the flat again, you're back on the par. Trying to hold as much back as you can, because when you hit this little climb, it's a big effort out of the saddle because the resistance will kick in on your smart trainer. But as soon as the climb's over, the road drags on. It's not even a nice downhill straight after it. So you have to really maintain the power straight after the hill, or else you're just going to get spat straight out the back.
Yeah, and there's a message in from Matt Ormisher, who's in the B group. So he told me, he said, I think everything, he's out, he's lost everything. So, I mean, Matt, I'm sure it's not that bad. You haven't lost everything. It's just a Zwift race. I hope it was just your connection that you lost anyway. So don't worry, we'll see you next week.
Yeah, with a few people losing connections here, they're now watching us. Lindsay is here, yeah, all cool.
Just following in the B group here, Peter Ritchie from Dramara. He's on the hill at the minute, so he is. So you can see the watts have really kicked up. Nearly 400 watts now, up this hill, just trying to hold on to this group in front of him.
Yeah, we're down to about 3 minutes 10 between C's and D's for the front of the race. 10K's in, so...
Do you want to jump back over to the C group and we'll see where we are here?
Back to the C's, go.
Yeah, see it now.
Okay, they're just entering the volcano again.
Yeah.
They seem to be picking up quite a lot of D riders as well.
See an A rider in amongst them here as well. Not sure what's happening there.
He's obviously been dropped from the main group.
Yeah, there's a few D's amongst them here as well, yeah. Rick Hanna, we'll give him some screen time.
I'm taking a look to see if I can see June on the screen anywhere. She should be with the front of the D's, or C's, I would say.
G Guide still there.
I have lost the grip altogether somehow. What's happened here? Back to me.
To be fair to the C's, they seem to be staying in a fairly big group as well. So, I mean, it's quite interesting to watch the group dynamics between some of the different groups. Like, you know, I think the D's and the C's tend to work quite well together. Whereas when you kind of get up and you see further, like we try follow the A's and it could be a group and the next second will be 4 off the front. So I think that always helps as well when you actually have a group that are riding quite well together.
Yeah, they do seem to be staying together quite well here. There's also a good mixture of riders in amongst them.
Okay, I've managed to grab the A riders here.
Okay.
So I'm with the front of the A group at the moment, following Lindsay Watson, Mr. Lindsay himself at the moment. A few shout outs, a few mentions in the A group tonight. Obviously, young Seth Dunwoody, last week's winner, has another good chance of gaining more points in the league tonight. This little hill before the finish should suit him because he's obviously very light. He's sub 60 kilos, so he absolutely fly up it, and he seems to have quite a good power behind him. Another couple of notable names that I've seen on the start list tonight. They won't really count in the league overall, but the full Hope Factory Racing team from the UK. They are an elite mountain bike and cyclocross team sponsored by Hope Components.
Yeah.
Two of the riders are very, very notable. I'd seen the names that stuck out like sore thumbs when I was looking through the start list. Grant Ferguson, he's from Scotland. He was 5th in the Commonwealth Games mountain bike race in Glasgow in 2014. Brilliant. So obviously no slouch. Another guy, Paul Oldham, he's a cyclocross legend. Anybody who rides cyclocross will remember that name. He's actually won the Three Peaks cyclocross race, which is, I think it's ranked as the hardest cyclocross race in the world. And he's a former national British champion on cyclocross racing as well. So he's racing tonight in the A group.
I mean, that race is so impressive to watch. I don't know how many videos I've seen on it. I would love to do that one day myself. But then again, do I really want to run up the hill carrying my bike? Not so sure.
I have to agree with you there. Another mention tonight from Kidding Cycles, Barry Greer. Another recent upgrade from the B category. He got upgraded after last week's round because he had a storm and ride. He's now started with the A's tonight, so he has. So good luck to Barry tonight.
Yep, good man, Barry.
And we have a lot of our regulars as well from the A category. So Nathan Keown is racing. Glenn Kinning is racing as well. So Mark, I mean, you forget to give Glenn a shout out every single week. So
I did ask where he was last week. You know, it's something.
I'll try and find him here while you guys are talking. We'll give him a bit of screen time.
I'm going to pan back over to you anyway here, Ross. Give the A's some
loving, but in case they feel like they're a little bit left out.
Yeah, I'm just going to look and see what the times are like now. It's just refreshed, and 2 minutes 50 from the C's to the D's.
It's coming back together rightly then.
Do we think the A's are going to catch them all?
I think they will tonight.
Yeah.
But last week, like I say, they caught everyone bar 4 D riders. So the D group have been given 1 minute less handicap tonight. So it's going to be very, very close. Plus, it's 3 kilometers longer tonight than it was last week.
Yeah.
Not as hilly, but this circuit, because of the rolling nature of it and that little kicker every lap, it tends to spit riders out because they hit the hills so hard because it's so short, basically. And guys get to the top, sit up, rest in their laurels a little bit. Next minute, there's a 2 meter gap, and they've lost the draft and they're gone.
Yeah, I'm just following the C's here as well, and they're just about to make a catch of some D riders, the tail end.
Just watching the A group here, they seem to be staying together and working really well as a team. So they're on the downhill just before the wee climb up towards the finish area.
Have you found our Glen yet?
I haven't yet, no.
For the life of me, I can't keep up with all the screens that are going on. I'm like, which one are we watching now?
How do you think I feel?
Okay, fair enough.
I've got 4
Mark
here.
has around 4 screens in front of him. I'm struggling with 2. Ross, we just kind of let him float in between whatever he feels like on the day.
I'm following on screen in the A group here myself. Darnell Moore, I'm not too sure what's happening with him this year racing-wise, but he's a former professional with the Fitus Pro team. I'm not too sure if he's racing for Pro this year or not, so it'll be interesting to find out for him if we even have a road season this year.
Yeah.
But super strong rider.
He is appearing with a little Pro jersey beside his name, so has been going really, really well in terms of racing in the Irish scene anyway. So definitely I know from talking to a lot of the riders, he's a very, very strong rider. I think as well, with Zwift racing is so much different from your road racing in general. Like it takes a different kind of style to be a good Zwift rider. It's very, I suppose, technical, a little bit nerdy. You need to learn the tricks, etc. So it sometimes is quite different to see, your normal road racer who would normally probably drop the field and how they fare on Zwift as well versus kind of all the people who know all about the power ups, etc. or even like things like draft and super tucks. So it is interesting to watch people racing virtually versus in the real world as well.
Yeah, very true. Like I say, we're just watching the A group here, and they've just went up the climb into the volcano again and caught a B group. I don't think, looking backwards, none of the B riders got onto the wheel. So it was just a really bad place to be caught by the A group, unfortunately. But the A group, you can see they've stretched out. They just went past the 4 laps to go banner there. And the speed is on here. They're absolutely flying. They're doing 49 kilometers per hour, 50 k's an hour. And there's a slight incline here just as they exit the volcano as well.
Yeah, and we have a question come through on the live stream as well from Lone Ranger saying, do you use erg mode for your races? I mean, I don't. I think the only time I have erg mode on is if I'm doing a workout. Guys, do any of you use erg mode for a race?
Never for a race. Erg mode's is predominantly for training programs. If you're using erg mode in a race, you're going to get dropped end off.
Yeah, unless you have it programmed into some really, really high watt that you just want to hold for the entire race.
If you can hold 600 watts, you might do okay.
If you can do that, you should probably go pro anyway, though. So don't worry about Zwift racing then.
So the A group here, they seem to be eating rightly into that. There's another group of Bs just ahead of them, or a group of Cs they seem to be catching now. This will probably be the tail end of the Cs they're catching.
Yeah, so I'm still following the Cs here, and they're just catching riders from the Ds now, so they're going to sail on past. D riders are still in the lead. According to Zwift Power, our lead D rider is a C. So would we be calling that? Would we be calling them a sandbagger, Ross?
That would be a sandbagger.
Indeed,
well,
indeed.
Actually, we're not allowed to use that term because there have been some complaints against the word sandbagger, and we get in trouble for these things.
Yeah.
So when we say sandbagger, lads, we're Irish. We're going to be slagging you, so don't take it personally.
It's only a wee joke, bit of crack.
Exactly. So we apologise to Mr. Kelly. I think his name was from last week.
Or if I want to use my Nordy terms, I'd be like, it's a wee gag. Did I say that right, guys?
I think we called out somebody as a sandbagger last week, but it turned out they had the same name as the previous winner of the D race.
Yep.
So we apologise in advance, or after, I should say.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, there is a ton of sandbaggers in the D group here, so we're not going to mention their names.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think we should mention their names. It makes it a little bit more fun, doesn't it?
Well,
yeah. Well, there's one guy I'd like to mention, and he's the biggest sandbagger I know. And he'll probably not. I don't really care if he's offended or not. I hope it does offend him because it'll make him join the B group where he should be. His name on Zwift, if you were looking out for him, I'm not too sure if he's even right tonight. He'd be in the C category. Is Bertie Bassett. If anybody knows who Bertie Bassett is,
yep.
His name is Mr. Talbot from Cookstown. Sort it out, Bob. You've been called out live on air.
Yeah, he gets a lot of Facebook time as well. That name.
It's all good crack at the end of the day, but he should be in the B group.
So our lead rider is Ivan Cook at the minute, and as far as I was aware, Ivan Cook was second last week. Team Madigan.
Yeah, Ivan's right up there. I think he's joint first in the league overall. Is in the D category.
Well, he is leading the race at the minute and is not a sandbagger. Good man, Ivan.
Fair play, we like you.
Yeah, Barry Mark is the next man on the list. Maybe Ballymena? Barry Mark? Not sure, yeah. BRC.
Ballymena, hey?
Yeah, and then
Ballymena Road Club.
Eddie Sheridan, Breffin, third. That's your top three.
Guys, I have to say, I don't think you appreciated me trying to use like Northern Irish terms as well when I was trying to make a joke. I mean, I know I'm from down south, but I really did make an effort.
I've got Glenn here in the A group, and they just hit the climb. They're about to catch a group of B riders on the climb as well. He's at the front, banging it out.
That's a man on a mission right there.
Yeah, and it just you see how fast they go through this B rider group. Unfortunately, the worst place to be caught as well, right on the hill.
Glenn looks to be going well today anyway, so he's putting out good watts.
Yeah, as far as I know, he had a wee rest week last week, so.
Oh, insider information right there.
Yeah. Can't say any more. Sorry.
You can see he stretched the A group out here. They're catching another B group. He's still on the front, so he's putting a massive effort in here. Heart rate's up to 180 beats, 90 RPM, so he's not holding that back at all. still on the front.
I call this doing a Ross Blaney, when you just like launch an attack off the front on a hill and go nuts. The only problem is when Ross does it, normally he gets to the top of the hill and then things don't go so well after it. So Glenn, just like tone it back slightly if you're pulling the Ross Blaney on it.
Yeah, I have to agree. Unfortunately, I can't go up hills for love their money.
Especially, I remember you doing that on this circuit as well before. So, yeah.
Have a quick through. We're watching Stuart Miller here from Art Cycling Club in the A group, another strong rider. I think from memory, he was another guy that had a go at the Everest.
The Everesting, yeah, and I think he put in a really, really good time on it. Am I right in saying he did the climb by Scrabo?
Yeah, Scrabo Tower in Newton Ards. Dead straight bar the road. It's steep. It seems like it's steeper as you approach the top as well, but I wouldn't fancy spending 10 or 11 hours on that. Rather him than me.
Definitely not. The amount of times you'd have to go up and down that is mad. But actually, guys, going back to the screen here, I think Glenn's making a breakaway.
No, he's back in the group. We're back following young Seth Dunwoody, last week's winner here. 14-year-old, unbelievable rider for his age. To be able to stay with these strong guys at this sort of pace is some going.
So I'm just trying to check Swift Power here to see what sort of times. And it's not being too clear. According to Swift Power, we are about, from the B group, 4 minutes 56 from the front. Not getting any C riders on Swift Power here to tell me where the front, how far they are from the front. That's the issue I'm having.
We're getting some good comments on the live stream as well from Des the cyclist and Ian Carson about sandbaggers. So one saying name and shame them. And also, Ian, thank you for appreciating my joke. Yes, it was funny.
Yeah, Daz the cyclist, go on, name and shame all the sandbaggers.
We'll get in trouble, we can't.
Yeah.
Trust me.
I'll have to go easy on some of them.
This A group, they really do seem to be eating into all the groups tonight, so they have caught the majority of the B groups by the looks of things.
So Swift Power has just refreshed for me, and Lindsay Watson is 5 minutes from the front of the race. That's the only error I can see here.
So they've made 5 minutes up already on the D riders. That's how fast the A group are going. Yeah. Just caught a big group of C riders there as well, so they're cutting through them rightly.
I'm just trying to see as he flash up on my screen here.
Lindsay must be working hard. No messages coming in today.
We're just approaching this little downhill. Lindsay's on the front of the A group. You'll see his watts drop right down. No, he's put about 300 watts nearly. Yep, 0 watts. So he's went under the aero tuck here. Bit of recovery. And then he's back on, hit the flat, watts back up, 500 watts to kick in the position again.
Actually, one of the comments I've heard about Lindsay Watson from racing as well, and obviously I've never been good enough to race against him, but the guys who have always said that when he is out road racing, he's great to actually race with, because out on the road he'll give instructions to the group and kind of like get people moving and really working together as well. So I think that's always a good sign of a really good road racer as well, that they're able to organize people around them. I'm too busy dying, so clearly he's good at multitasking.
Yeah, I've done a few of those combined 1, 2, 3 races with Lindsay, and you don't really see him for too long, to be honest. It's just...
Yeah. Another rider we're following on screen here at the minute in the A group is young Lee Harvey of the Harvey clan from VC Glendale. Yeah. Another very talented young rider on the road and on the mountain bike. Him and his brother Dean are probably 2 of the strongest riders from that lower age category. Come up through the ranks. I think Lee's up into the seniors now this year, if I'm right. Maybe Marcus Fowler will be on the live stream. Correct me if I'm wrong. Give him a ride on while we're watching him here.
What should we do here, Ross? Because we're with about 7Ks to go here. C's haven't caught D's yet.
They haven't caught the D's yet?
No,
you sure?
I think so. Definitely not. Don't think so.
Who knows? Who knows?
Who are you following at the minute? You're following the
C's.
The C group?
Ivan Cook's still in the lead here in the D group.
What's the gap to the C's?
It's not actually giving me... It's not giving me the gap. The B's... The lead B rider is 4 minutes from the front. Lindsay again is down to 5 minutes from the front. Ivan could stay away here.
There'll be some ride if he does.
I'm gonna have to try and find him here.
If
There'll be complaints from the A's if that happens.
I think
Mark Harvey has come back to us as well, saying Lee is A2 this year and second year is an under 23.
Oh, there we go then.
There you go, Ross.
Thanks for correcting us, Mark.
He's always wrong, Mark, so thanks for doing that.
You'll have to go out, Mark will have to go out and buy another turbo trainer for Dean to get the two lads on at the same time. Sell one of his own mountain bikes, that's the way to pay for it, Mark. Maybe a leg at the same time and a lung.
If you can even get your hands on a turbo trainer at the moment, it's next to impossible.
Yeah, they're like going off the shelf like wildfire at the minute. It's crazy. I think with all the lockdown happening around the world, every man and his dog seems to be wanting to train inside at the minute. If not Zwift, there's plenty of other training apps available, obviously.
I think it's your fault for starting this league. You've cost people thousands, Ross.
Well, it's talking about the league anyway. I've had a few rough copies of the winners' jerseys design. A couple of guys on our little admin group are putting them together, and what I've seen so far, they are fantastic and really, really worthwhile racing for. Because get one of these, there's only going to be 7 or 8 of these jerseys around the country, and you'll have one, you've obviously earned it. Very stylish.
We're hoping we get our hands on them as well, but that's fine. For all our hard work, but don't worry about it.
So a big shout out to obviously Daly's Hyundai again for helping sponsoring the league to obviously help us provide these jerseys for the winners. I see Daniel is racing tonight, obviously as young Daniel Jr. is in the D group as well. So big shout out to these guys.
Yes, I have to say that this race is really difficult to follow because there's people all over the road. So
what you're saying is Ross chose a really, really confusing course for us.
Yeah, I'm completely lost here, to be honest. I'm trying to find Ivan Cook.
I think on my screen I can still see the A's at the moment, so
right, we're good. I have the leader.
Perfect. Who's that?
Ivan Cook.
You got him. Oh yeah, okay, I can see him on your screen now. And he seems to be going well. What was that? Like, nearly was doing 3 watts there.
I think he's actually catching the end of some of the A riders. They must have obviously got shelled out the rear.
Yeah, they've probably just sat up now. He shouldn't be a D rider, but he's catching the A group for that way.
Yeah. Well,
He'll be getting promoted.
According to Swift Power, Ivan Cook's our lead rider. So, do you want to stick with the A's for a while, and we'll flick back over? Because
yeah, you just keep an eye on your screen there, and obviously, you don't want to miss if he is leading there. We don't want to miss him winning the race.
Yeah.
A message in from Matt Ormisher as well saying Ulster Zwifters kit would be nice also. Hint, hint, Ross.
That's in the pipeline. Can't say too much.
Here we go. No, let's hear it here first.
So the A group basically they're just about to hit this hill again, so they are. So it'll be interesting to see if I see any attacks here from the A group. They seem to have caught the majority of the groups in front of them, bar a couple of the D riders again.
So the Swift Power has updated me here again. It updates every 30 seconds. We have 2 minutes 40 from the C's to the lead D rider, who is Ivan Cook. Third on the road at the minute, Mark Barry. I'm not sure which way around that is, sorry. And Eddie Sheridan, top 3.
On my screen, I can see a bunch of A riders, and it doesn't seem like to be the biggest bunch that are still together at the moment. Obviously, I know they're kind of going through a couple of groups there, but definitely looks like the A group is well and surely broken up. But I see Glenn Kinning is still going strong in that first group of A riders as well, so nice, well done.
Glenn.
Yeah, there seems to be quite a good group of A riders together here. You've got Sam Coleman, Phil Pearce from Hope Factory Racing, Andy Dryber from Wales, another visiting rider, Lee Harvey, Seth Dunwoody, Alan Glendinning, Mark Wright, Glenn Kinning, Thomas Crichton from McConvey Cycles. There's a few big hitters in here in this D group. So Darnell Moore's there. or A group, sorry.
Talking about Thomas
Some red
Creighton here,
numbers,
he's 3 minutes 30 off the front. So he's flashing up on Swift Power here as being the lead A rider that's closest to the front. 3 minutes 30. There's 2 Ks to go here, so it's looking like Ivan's staying away, guys.
And is he out by himself there? Yeah, it looks like Ivan is out by himself, so he is sitting at around 2.8 watts per kg.
Yeah.
And
he is working. The heart rate's up at 172 there, so it's not as if he's just doing
we
nothing.
won't call you a sandbagger, don't worry.
No.
Just looking at Ivan's stat here on Swift Power, he may find himself DQ'd at the end of this.
Oh.
He's averaged 2.7 watts per kilo up to this point, and the
Big
limit
slow
for the D category is only 2.5.
Oh.
So, Ivan, you could be getting a wee upgrade to the C next week.
Or Ivan, if you can hear us, just start really slowly pedaling if you want to try stay in the D group for next week.
His watts are going up.
No, he won't get promoted. You go for it.
Well, if he gets DQ'd, Shane Morrison, he's currently averaging 2.4 watts per kilo. He is not a sandbagger also. He's in the right category. So
yeah, he seems to be our next official D rider in Swift Power.
Yeah.
Look at Eddie Sheridan and then Barry Mark.
Oh, hold on. I think a few Bs have just come through. A few B riders just rode through Ivan there. I'm not sure who's going to win here. Swift Power's not updating quick enough to tell me.
Well, I'm sticking with the A group. I don't want to lose them.
Yeah, with
What distance is the race again, guys?
30.
I always pay lots.
Yeah, 30 Ks.
We're back to Ivan again. He's
Not far out now then.
yeah. Do you want to pan across to Ivan here? Let him.
Giving his moment of glory.
Yeah, he's got roughly 5K to go.
Is he on his own?
Yeah.
Just say 5K to go. I thought it was like 500 meters.
Yeah, that's what I meant. 500 to go.
Just start sprinting now, Ivan. It'll
Yeah,
be
so
fine.
the next rider is Shane Morrison, and he's like a minute 30 behind Ivan.
If that's him finishing, that's the finish banner there. He's going through now.
Right.
Not quite. I think he has another 300 meters or so to go.
No, that's him. Finished,
yep, that's him. Flick back to A's.
Flick back the A's. The A's have just caught another big group of B riders here by the looks of it. They're on the downhill here just before the finish.
Yep.
We'll try and pick a fast man for the finish here. There's Mr. Kenning himself. We'll stay with him.
Yep.
I'd stick with him. This rest week seems to have gone really, really well for him. So, Glenn, more rest weeks for you.
Yeah. Yeah, so I have to say, a very, very difficult race to follow. 6 laps.
Maybe not a good circuit to pick for this.
Yeah, 6 laps is a difficult one because they're just catching each other quite a lot. Yeah, I think
it'll be interesting to see if there's going to be any attacks here up towards the finish. They haven't got very far to go, less than a kilometre. So from the bottom of this hill to the finish is about 700 metres. Glenn's went towards the front of the group here.
Oh.
So is there going to be an attack? There seems to be a B group just in front of them.
Sprinting, we're in the red.
Already.
He must have heard his name being mentioned. Lindsay Watson, straight on his way, has a power up.
Right.
So he'll be flying past him here.
Oh dear. Maybe too soon, Glenn. Maybe too soon.
Don't speak too soon. Lindsay's on the front. We'll have a look back. And he sees stretch it out. He's got a bit of a gap. D. O'Sullivan seems to sucked onto his way. D. O'Sullivan's jumped him. Not far to go, a matter of a couple of 100 meters. D. O'Sullivan in the A group seems to be having it here.
Glenn's still there, second behind.
And look, young Steph Dunwoody trying to come through again.
Putting out big numbers as well.
Just past Lindsay. Great ride from Seth. And it looks like D. O'Sullivan and Seth just on the line for second.
Yeah.
Well done, guys.
Glenn might have pipped the third there, not sure.
Great race.
Yeah.
Hard to follow.
Definitely hard to follow. Yes.
Yes. Hopefully next week's circuit's a bit longer. I'll be able to space them out a bit.
What is next week's circuit?
I just need to double check. Like, you think I know this, would you?
Sometimes we expect this that you would know these things, Ross. But in the meantime, we'll stall while you're looking at that. So hopefully tonight wasn't too bad for you guys to watch. We do keep on trying to come up with ways of you keeping you guys entertained rather than just hearing our voices. So I think Mark had maybe suggested we would do some camera action as well.
Yep.
Although I did have to object tonight because, I mean, I had literally got off but I'm sat here in my dressing gown. So it was not the night for having a camera turned on. But maybe next week we'll talk about it.
We might try that next week. We're also trying not to have the big awkward silent moments, but sometimes it does happen.
Easier said than done, huh?
Yeah.
Even though normally you can't shut us up, but we're always just worried about talking over each other as well. So
yeah, that's difficult to do as well.
Just trying to pull the league details up here.
I'm just trying to work out the top three. So Ivan Cook. Then we'll have a ton of sandbaggers in between Ivan, Shane Morrison, Breffney, and Eddie Sheridan. Breffney as well. Or Breffin? Breffin?
Breffin?
Yeah, so Ivan Cook
it's a
first.
Good ride. Good ride for them D riders to stay out. That's 3 weeks in a row now. We'll have to have a serious look at the handicap for next week.
Yeah. So are we calling it a day? Everybody good?
Yes.
Yeah. That was good. Well done, guys. Thanks very much again.
And thanks to Jody for lending us Mark also again.
I can see here round 4. It's just have it up here. And
yep, go ahead.
Just load quickly. Round 4, we are in my favourite courses on Zwift. In fact, one of the courses I rode my first ever race on is the London Classic course.
Oh, very nice.
It is 5 laps of the London Classic, so it's a little bit further than tonight. It's 32.3 kilometres. It's pretty much a flat course, bar one little climb again. So we'll have a look at the handicap for next week, and we'll look forward to see you all again in London.
Thanks.